Major Taiho Kim stepped through the broken doorway of the Goryeo research station. Smoke still rose from parts of the building. What was once the pride of Korean science now lay in ruins. Only 3 hours ago, an explosion had torn through the facility. Now his team moved carefully through the wreckage. "Keep your eyes open," Taiho said to his team. "We don't know what caused the explosion." The soft crunch of broken glass and metal followed their footsteps. Emergency lights cast red shadows across the walls. Taiho checked his weapon again. His orders from Commander Jiwoo were clear. Find any surviving alien specimens and destroy them. No questions asked. "Major, over here," called Corporal Minsu from a side room. Taiho followed the voice to what used to be Laboratory 7. Most of the ceiling had fallen in. Scientific equipment lay crushed on the floor. Minsu stood with his rifle pointed at something in the corner. "It's still alive," Minsu said quietly. Taiho saw it then. Among the broken glass and twisted metal sat a creature unlike anything from Earth. It looked somewhat like a dog, but with major differences. It had 6 legs instead of 4. Its fur shimmered with colors that seemed to change as it moved. 3 eyes arranged in a triangle on its face blinked at them. According to the briefing, this was Subject Lambda, the only successful alien specimen the scientists had been studying. "Sir, should I take the shot?" Minsu asked, his finger hovering near the trigger. Taiho raised his hand. "Wait." Something wasn't right. The reports described the alien as aggressive and dangerous, but the creature before them was cowering, making soft whimpering sounds. It reminded Taiho of the dog he had as a child. When the creature saw Taiho looking at it, it made a soft crying sound. "Sir, our orders are clear," said Sergeant Du Young, who had just entered the room. "We need to eliminate any surviving specimens." "I know our orders," Taiho replied. "But look at it. Does that look like the dangerous creature described in the reports?" The alien was now pressing itself further into the corner. One of its legs appeared injured. What struck Taiho most were its eyes. There was intelligence there and what looked like fear. "Give me 5 minutes," Taiho said firmly. "Keep your weapons ready, but hold your fire." He slowly approached the creature, his hand raised to show he meant no harm. The alien watched him carefully. As Taiho got closer, he noticed more details. The creature's skin beneath its fur seemed to glow faintly. Its breathing was rapid, just like a scared dog. "Easy now," Taiho said softly, not sure if the creature could understand him. "We're not going to hurt you." Just then his radio crackled to life. "Major Kim, report status," came Commander Jiwoo's stern voice. Taiho hesitated. He should report. Finding the alien. He should follow orders, but something made him pause. "Still searching the East Wing, Commander," he finally replied. "No specimens found yet." "Find them and destroy them, Major. That's a direct order." "Yes, sir." Taiho turned back to the alien. It was now watching him with what seemed like curiosity. Slowly, very slowly, it extended one of its 6 legs toward him. "Sir," whispered Minsu nervously. "What are you doing?" "I'm not sure," Taiho admitted. He reached out his hand, stopping just short of touching the creature. The alien made a soft sound and then, to everyone's surprise, it touched Taiho's hand with what appeared to be a paw. The touch was warm, and Taiho felt a strange calm wash over him. "Get a containment unit," he ordered. "We're taking it with us." "But sir, our orders," Du Young began. "I know what our orders are," Taiho cut him off. "But I'm not killing this creature until I understand what's going on here." As his team reluctantly prepared a mobile containment field, Taiho's radio came to life again. "Major, we found a survivor," said another team member. "A woman, badly injured. She's being taken to the medical tent now." "Who is she?" Taiho asked. "ID says Dr. Yoonji Park. She's the lead xenobiologist." Taiho looked back at the alien creature. "Looks like we found someone who might have answers." As they carefully guided the alien into the containment field, Taiho couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much bigger. The explosion, the alien's unusual behavior, and now a surviving scientist, none of it seemed like coincidence. Secure the area and continue the search, he ordered his team. I'm going to speak with Dr. Park if she's conscious. As Tae-ho exited the ruined lab, with the contained alien floating behind him, he caught the creature staring at him. Its three eyes seemed to hold a message he couldn't yet understand. For the first time in his military career, Major Tae-ho Kim had directly disobeyed an order. And somehow, he felt certain that it was the right thing to do. What he didn't know then was that this decision would not only change his life forever, but might also change the course of human history. The creature they called Subject Lambda was far more than a simple alien animal, and its connection to humans was older and deeper than anyone could have imagined. The morning light brought new discoveries. In a makeshift lab tent, Dr. Hansol, Yoonji's assistant who had been away during the explosion, worked tirelessly analyzing the alien's crystalline tears. Major Tae-ho Kim entered the tent, carrying a cup of coffee. Any progress? He asked, handing the coffee to the tired scientist. Hansol looked up from his microscope, his eyes wide with excitement. Major, you won't believe what I've found. These tears aren't just emotional responses. They contain compounds that I've never seen before. He motioned for Tae-ho to look through the microscope. See these structures? They seem designed to bond with human blood cells. Specifically, they target damaged cells and repair them. Tae-ho straightened up. Are you saying these tears could heal Dr. Park? Theoretically, yes, Hansol replied. But there's more. I compared Lambda's genetic structure to the database. It's not a natural creature. Its DNA, or whatever alien equivalent it has, shows signs of advanced bioengineering. Someone made it? Tae-ho asked, surprised. Exactly. And not recently. The genetic marker suggests this species has existed for thousands of years. Hansol pulled up an image on his tablet. And look at this. I found these cave paintings in Yoonji's research files. The image showed ancient drawings of six-legged creatures with triangular heads walking alongside humans. These are from caves in Korea, dating back 10,000 years, Hansol explained. Yoonji found similar images from ancient sites around the world. She believed Lambda's species visited Earth long ago. Tae-ho's mind raced with the implications. And the connection to human blood? That's the most interesting part, Hansol said, pulling up another file. Yoonji discovered that certain human bloodlines carry genetic markers that match specific sequences in Lambda's DNA. It's like they were designed to recognize each other. Hansol carefully picked up a small vial containing one of the crystalline tears. I dissolved one tear in a sample of Yoonji's blood. The results were amazing. Her blood cells began to regenerate immediately. Could it save her life? Tae-ho asked urgently. I believe so. But we need more tears, and Commander Ji-woo has restricted access to Lambda. Tae-ho made a quick decision. I'll handle Ji-woo. Prepare everything you need for the treatment. And I? Tae-ho left the lab tent. He headed toward the containment area where Lambda was being held. The alien seemed to sense his approach, rising to its feet and watching him with its three intelligent eyes. I need your help, Tae-ho said softly to the creature, not caring if anyone heard him talking to it. Yoonji is dying. We need more of your tears. To his amazement, Lambda seemed to understand. It pressed against the containment field, its eyes fixed on Tae-ho. Then slowly, its eyes began to produce more crystalline tears. A soldier nearby watched in shock. Sir, it seems to understand you. I think it understands more than we realize, Tae-ho replied. Later, in Yoonji's tent, Hansol carefully administered a solution made from Lambda's tears into her IV line. Tae-ho, Dr. Soo-min, and a few medical staff watched anxiously. At first, nothing happened. Then the monitors showed changes. Yoonji's vital signs began to stabilize. Color returned to her pale face. It's working, Dr. Soo-min whispered in amazement. Her body is healing itself at an incredible rate. Yoonji's eyes fluttered open. She looked around, confused at first, then focused on Tae-ho. Lambda, she said weakly. Is it safe? Yes, Tae-ho assured her. And it saved your life. Yoonji managed a small smile. Not just mine. It could save countless lives. That's what we were studying when the explosion happened. What caused the explosion? Taeho asked. Unji's face darkened. It wasn't an accident. Someone wanted to stop our research. They didn't want the world to know about Lambda and what it represents. Which is what exactly? Taeho pressed. A connection, Unji said, her voice growing stronger. An ancient connection between their species and ours. They were created to be our guardians, our healers. The myths about guardian spirits and magical healing creatures, they all come from memories of Lambda's kind. Hansol nodded excitedly. It explains so much. The genetic compatibility, the way Lambda responds to certain human bloodlines. But why did they leave? Taeho asked. If they were our guardians, why aren't they still here? That's what we were trying to figure out, Unji replied. The records suggest a conflict, a war that drove them away. But they left markers in our DNA, a way to find us again when the time was right. As they talked, none of them noticed Commander Jiwoo standing just outside the tent, listening to every word. His face was hard as stone as he quietly walked away, pulling out a secure phone. Sir, the situation has changed, he spoke quietly into the phone. The alien's healing properties have been confirmed. Yes, I understand. I'll deal with it tonight. What Jiwoo didn't know was that Lambda, still in its containment field, had sensed his presence and his intentions. The bond forming between the alien and those around it was growing stronger by the hour, and it was about to be tested in ways none of them could imagine. Night fell over the military camp. Most soldiers were either on patrol or resting. Major Taeho Kim sat in a small command tent, reading through Dr. Yoonji Park's recovered research files. Each new page revealed more about the incredible connection between Lambda's species and humans. According to Yoonji's notes, these aliens had visited Earth thousands of years ago. They were created by an advanced civilization to serve as guardians and healers for humans. Their tears could heal almost any wound or illness. But something had gone wrong. A conflict arose, and the guardians left Earth, leaving only traces, in human myths and in the DNA of certain bloodlines. Taeho rubbed his tired eyes. If this was true, Lambda's kind could revolutionize medicine. But he sensed danger too. Such power would be coveted by many. Governments, corporations, military forces. His radio crackled to life. Major Kim, Commander Jiwoo has arrived with reinforcements, reported Corporal Minsu. He's heading toward the containment area. Taeho stood quickly. He hadn't expected Jiwoo back so soon. Something felt wrong. When he reached the containment area, he found Jiwoo with a group of soldiers Taeho didn't recognize. They wore military uniforms but lacked standard identification. Commander, I wasn't informed about new personnel, Taeho said cautiously. Jiwoo's face was cold. These men are under my direct command, Major. I've received new orders regarding Subject Lambda. What orders? Taeho asked, noticing that the new soldiers were setting up equipment around Lambda's containment field. The creature is being transferred to a secure facility, Jiwoo replied. Its biological properties are now classified as top priority for national security. Lambda watched them from inside the field, its three eyes moving from Jiwoo to Taeho. It seemed agitated, pacing on its 6 legs. Where's Dr. Park? Taeho asked. She should be consulted about any transfer. Dr. Park and her assistant have been relieved of their duties, Jiwoo said sharply. This operation is now under military control. One of the new soldiers approached Jiwoo. Sir, the transport is ready. We should move the specimen now. Something in the man's accent caught Taeho's attention. These weren't regular Korean military. And the patches on their shoulders, now that he looked closer, belonged to Nexus Corp, a private military company known for its bioweapon research. Commander, what's really going on here? Taeho demanded. These men aren't military, they're Nexus Corp contractors. Jiwoo's face hardened. Step aside, Major, that's an order. Before Taeho could respond, shouts came from the direction of the medical tent. Dr. Hansol ran toward them, his face panicked. Major Kim, they're taking Dr. Park, armed men. He stopped short when he saw Jiwoo and the Nexus soldiers. Jiwoo sighed. This is becoming messy, he turned to his men. Secure Dr. Park and her assistant. They're both contaminated by alien, biological material and need to be quarantined. Contaminated? Taeho repeated in disbelief. The alien saved her life. That's not your concern anymore, Major, Jiwoo said coldly, drawing his sidearm. This is your last chance to follow orders. Taeho looked at Lambda. The alien was now pressing against the containment field, its eyes fixed on the direction of the medical tent. Suddenly, it made a high-pitched sound, a warning cry. Sir, called one of Taeho's soldiers from the perimeter. Armed men are taking Dr. Park from the medical tent. In that moment, Taeho made his decision. He drew his weapon and pointed it at Jiwoo. Stop this now, Commander. Whatever Nexus Corp is paying you, it's not worth betraying your country. Jiwoo smiled coldly. You don't understand what's at stake, Major. The healing properties in that creature's tears could create super soldiers who can recover from any wound. Whoever controls it controls the future of warfare. As they faced off, something unexpected happened. Lambda's body began to glow brightly. The containment field flickered and then failed completely. The alien was free. Stop it, Jiwoo shouted, turning his gun toward Lambda. But the alien was too fast. It leaped past them, running on its 6 legs toward the medical tent. Taeho didn't hesitate. He kicked Jiwoo's arm, sending his shot wide, then pursued the alien. Behind him, chaos erupted as his loyal soldiers clashed with Jiwoo's Nexus Corp men. Gunfire echoed through the camp. Taeho reached the medical tent just in time to see Lambda burst inside. He followed, weapon ready. What he saw inside stopped him cold. 2 Nexus soldiers had Dr. Yoonji Park cornered. She was weak but standing, her hospital gown stained with blood from her reopened wound. And between her and the soldiers stood Lambda, its fur now glowing with pulsing colors. It growled, a sound that seemed to vibrate the very air. Get away from that thing, one soldier shouted at Unji, raising his weapon. She stays with me, came a voice from behind Taeho. Jiwoo had followed him, gun aimed at Taeho's back. The woman and the alien are both coming with us. Taeho knew he had only seconds to act. But before he could move, Lambda did something incredible. The alien looked directly at Yoonji, and a wave of energy seemed to pass between them. Yoonji gasped, her eyes widening. Then she spoke, but her voice was different, deeper, more resonant. You will not take what is not yours, human. The bond is awakened. It cannot be broken again. Jiwoo's face twisted with anger. Shoot them all. In that moment, Taeho had to make an impossible choice. Follow orders and let the alien and Doctor die, or protect them and become a traitor himself. His decision would change everything. The mountain cabin stood alone, surrounded by pine trees and morning mist. 3 months had passed since the chaos at the research facility. Major Taeho Kim, now just Taeho, having resigned his commission, looked out the window at the peaceful scene. So much had changed in such a short time. Inside the cabin, Dr. Yoonji Park sat on a couch sipping tea. Beside her lay what most people would mistake for an unusually large dog with striking blue-black fur. Only up close would someone notice the 6 legs and 3 eyes of the creature, now called Beol, meaning star in Korean. How are you feeling today? Taeho asked, joining Yoonji on the couch. Better every day, she replied with a smile. The wound that had nearly killed her was now just a faint scar thanks to Beol's healing tears. The door opened, and Dr. Hansol entered, shaking rain from his coat. Sorry I'm late. The roads are getting muddy. He placed his tablet on the table, bringing up images and data. The genetic tests confirm everything we suspected. Beol's species was created over 10,000 years ago by a civilization far more advanced than anything we know of. They were engineered to bond with and protect specific human bloodlines, like mine, Yoonji said softly, stroking Beol's fur. The alien made a contented sound, pressing against her hand. Taeho still found it hard to believe everything that had happened that night 3 months ago. When Commander Jiwoo had ordered his men to fire, Bial had created some kind of energy shield around them. In the confusion, Jiwoo had fired his weapon, but the bullet had somehow ricocheted, striking him instead. The official report stated that he died in a secondary explosion. Most of the Nexus Corp soldiers had fled when they saw Bial's power. Those who stayed loyal to Jiwoo were now in military custody, facing charges of treason. The government had classified the entire incident, preferring to cover up the existence of aliens rather than admit the truth. "What happens now?" Taeho asked, looking at the data on Hansol's tablet. Hansol pulled up a map with several points marked across it. According to Unji's research and the information Bial has shared telepathically, there are more of its kind hidden around the world. They've been in a sort of suspended animation, waiting for humans with the right genetic markers to awaken them. "How many?" Taeho asked. "Dozens, maybe hundreds," Hansol replied. "Each one bonded to a specific human bloodline." Unji looked down at Bial. "They were created to be our protectors, our healers. But something went wrong. A war broke out. Humans fighting over control of them just like Jiwoo tried to do. Their creators decided it was safer to hide them until humanity was ready." "And are we ready now?" Taeho asked skeptically. Unji smiled. "Bial thinks some of us are. That's why it allowed itself to be found." The alien raised its head, looking at Taeho with intelligent eyes. Over the past months, Taeho had felt the growing mental connection between himself and the creature. Not as strong as Unji's bond, but present nonetheless. "The military and agencies like Nexus Corp are still searching for it," Taeho warned. "If they find out we're alive." "They won't," Hansol said confidently. "I've made sure our identities are protected. As far as the world knows, we all died in the explosion." Outside, the rain had stopped, and sunlight began to break through the clouds. Bial suddenly stood up, moving to the door. It made a soft sound, asking to go outside. Unji opened the door, and they all watched as Bial trotted into the clearing, in front of the cabin. The alien's fur began to glow with colors that shifted and changed in the sunlight. "It's beautiful," Hansol whispered. "It's communicating," Unji explained. "Sending a signal to others of its kind, letting them know it's time." Taeho felt a mixture of hope and concern. What happens when the others wake up? What if someone like Jiwoo finds them first? "That's why we're here," Unji said firmly. "We need to find them before anyone else does. Help them bond with the right humans. Protect them until the world is ready to know the truth." Taeho looked at Unji and Hansol, then at Bial. 3 months ago, he had been a soldier following orders. Now he was part of something much bigger, a connection between species that stretched back to the dawn of human civilization. "Where do we start?" he asked. Hansol pointed to a location on his map. "There's evidence of another one in Japan. Ancient texts describe a 6-legged guardian spirit in a cave near Mount Fuji." Unji nodded. "And Bial can sense it now that it's awake. It can guide us." As they began to plan their journey, Taeho realized that his life had found a new purpose. He had been ordered to kill Bial, but instead, he had protected it. In return, the alien had opened his eyes to a truth bigger than he could have imagined. Outside, Bial continued its silent communication, its body glowing against the mountain backdrop. Satellites belonging to military organizations and corporations like Nexus searched the globe for any sign of the alien specimen, but they would find nothing. Not yet. Humanity wasn't ready for this reunion, but thanks to one soldier who chose compassion over orders, they would have a second chance. And when the time came for all of Lambda's kind to reveal themselves, the world would never be the same again. Taeho joined Bial outside, standing beside the alien as it completed its message to its distant kin. The creature looked up at him, its 3 eyes blinking in sequence. Taeho felt a touch in his mind. Not words exactly, but a feeling of gratitude and purpose. "You're welcome," he said softly, placing his hand on the alien's warm fur. "We'll find the others. I promise." Together they looked out at the wide world before them, A world that had no idea what was coming. A new beginning for two species linked by blood and destiny, all because one man had refused to follow orders to kill a creature whose tears had fallen at the scent of human blood.